Morning guys, this is my second try at making this video since I tend to forget to check to see if the microphone is on. So here we go. For this lesson, you're going to be dilating polygons, so not just a point, not just a segment like we did yesterday, but a polygon. It's going to be the same idea though, you just have to do each of the vertices. So our first one, we're going to take and dilate this figure FGH with the center C, and so I'm going to draw a ray from C out through F, from C out through G, and from C out through H. And we're going to use a scale factor of 3. So you're going to measure with a ruler the distance here, the length of CF, and then multiply that by 3 and make your point F prime on that same ray. And then you're going to measure with your ruler the distance from C to G, because that's the center to the point that you're dilating. And then you're going to multiply it by 3 and put your point G prime on the same ray. And then, of course, you do the same thing with H. And you connect the points. And voila, you have F prime, G prime, H prime. Now remember, you can pause this video and restart it any time. Just pause and catch up on your own paper. You are going to be turning in your paper, your notes at the end of the hour, so make sure that you are following along. Then the next one we have is a figure here, EFG. We're going to dilate figure EFG with the center of C. Okay, so I'm going to make my ray from C out through E, and then I'm going to make a ray from C out through G, and then a ray from C out through F. Okay, and so you'll need a scale factor. You and your partner just pick different numbers. Have one of you in your group do 1/2, another person do 2. If you have more than 2 people in your group, another person can do 1/4, and the other person, if you need it, can do 4. My examples are going to be 3, so you decide amongst yourselves which scale factor you're going to do for the rest of this activity, and just stick with that one. So I chose to do a scale factor of 3, so I'm going to measure my segment lengths, if I had a segment, of course, from C to E. I'm going to measure that, and then now I don't actually have a ruler here, so I'm going to pretend, I'm sorry, we have to measure the sides of the triangle. E to F, I'm going to pretend that I measured it, and it was 43 millimeters. I don't actually know what it is on your paper. F to G, I'm going to guess was 39, and G to E, I'm just guessing is 21. So just as an example. And then with my example scale factor, I'm going to multiply that length by 3, and that's going to be the length of my new point, or my new segment, E prime, F prime. And then you, of course, do that with the other 2 segments. Multiply your measured lengths of your original by your scale factor. And then you do the dilation, if you haven't already, and measure it with your actual ruler. Actually measure to see if this segment is indeed what you thought it would be. And then make a statement here about what you thought. And then I want you to take a piece of tracing paper, which then that's in my classroom. Hopefully you're still in my classroom. And it's going to be up in the front of the room. Get a piece of tracing paper and copy point C and the original triangle and your dilated triangle. And then I want you to take that tracing paper and compare with your partners. You know, you and your partner have different dilation scale factors. So compare those and make a statement here, write a statement about what you notice. The next one, remember you can pause this and do the activity on your paper and then come back. On the next one, you're going to dilate the triangle here with the center of C. Notice this time it's actually inside the triangle using scale factor of 1/2. So that's going to look like this one. Notice that each of my new points on the image are half the distance from C as the original points. So See, the new E prime is half the distance from C that the original E prime or E was. And then you're going to do the same thing with a new scale factor of 2. And that's going to look like this. Okay, and notice that the distance from C to G, when you multiply by 2, is now C to G prime. So we've dilated the whole figure by 1/2 here and by 2 here. So now think about this with your partner or with your small group. What scale factor or factors would cause your new triangle to intersect some part of your original triangle? Think about that for a little bit and write your statement. And then on the next part, remember you can pause and then come back to this video. On the next part, you're going to dilate a whole polygon. So we have our center P, and we're going to dilate all 4 points, okay? And I'm still using my same scale factor. You're going to use your same scale factor too. So that would be what I get once I dilate it. You can see there. Now I want you to take your ruler and measure the length from P to A prime and the length from P to A. So this length and then this length, and divide those two by one another. And then you can put whatever you get, maybe, I don't know, 2.6 or something. And then you do the same thing with the next one. You're going to do P to B prime, measure that, and then P to B, measure that, and then divide. Maybe you'll get, see, this is based on my dilation, so I'm just kind of guessing here, 3.1, something like this. So then you'll write what you noticed, okay? So you write your values, and then make a statement here about what you notice about the numbers in your table. And then you're going to do the ratio of the segments on the actual polygon compared to one another. So you measure A prime to B prime, and then measure A to B. Take this number, divide it by this number, and put what you get, whatever it is, down here. So maybe you got 4, and so that's what you would put down there. Okay? And then after you've done those, make a statement about what you notice you see in this table. Okay? Now this last page is just based on what you have. This is just the summary, and you don't have this on paper. You're going to have this one just on your iPad, so all this stuff is still in Google Classroom. After you're done with this activity, and remember you're doing all this on your paper, and you're going to turn it in at the end of the hour, then you're going to go to Google Classroom, and you're going back to Google Classroom, and you're going to open the cool down for today's lesson, and well, we'll see when that opens. But the cool down is you're going to do directly on your iPad. Okay, so you're going to do that in Google Classroom, answer the 2 questions, and then turn it back in Google Classroom. And after you've done that, you can go back into Notability. This isn't going to open very fast, so I'm just going to skip that part. You'll go back into Notability, and you'll find your Unit 3, Week 1 daily practice. And if you scroll down to the 3rd page, you'll see 1, 2, 3 problems that relate to today's lesson. So this first one, you're looking for the scale factor of dilation. Notice that the original is inside and the new one is outside. So you're going to take one of these numbers, divide by one of these numbers with the corresponding side. Number 2, we've got a perimeter of 12, and we're dilating the entire figure by 3/4. So you decide what the new perimeter would be. And then number 3, you're going to take a triangle and dilate it, and you want to figure out which one of these would give you a larger A prime, B prime, C prime than ABC. And that's it. The next page is all just lesson 4. So have those finished. Remember, you're turning in the paper activity that you do, the notes, the in-class assignment, you're turning that in, and then you're going to do the cool down in class, turn it in on Google Classroom, and then come work on your Week 1 daily practice.